Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. OCG Metagame breakdown for early July 2019. As you know, the OCG recently got their new Forbidden and Limited list, so let's take a look, with all at least the biggest decks in the OCG getting hit. So let's see how that new OCG list has an impact on our, at least on their new OCG format. Again, to refresh our memories, this was at least again all the sources, etc. will be in the video description like always. Of the King, Ready for Duel, Carloncho Store, etc. will all be put in the video description, so for more information feel free to check that one out. The first breakdown you see here is the last breakdown from their previous metagame, of course, and again, no surprise, we saw that Salmon Great last, at least at the end of their format, their small format, short format, was the most popular and more dominating deck, and then we see Orcust, keep this one in mind, and then, like multiple decks like Othergeist, Pendulums, Subterrors, Trickstars, Thunders, Sky Strikers, keep an eye out for Sky Striker, it will be important within the next couple of moments. And then a lot of other decks, but again, pretty much the two top decks to beat were Salmon Great and Orcust, and that's, well, this representation we saw coming back at the most recent OCG Banlist, so going into effect early July 2019. A couple of cards here could also be mentioned on our own TCG Banlist, like I think we can expect one really soon as well, but I'm looking at cards like Nightmare hitting, of course, the Orcust engine. I'm looking at Salmon Greats with Gazelle at 1, with Lady Debug at 1, which is currently at 1 in the TCG as well. I'm looking at the Thunder Dragon hits like, for example, Colossus, Sayuja, not on this, but the OCG doesn't have dangers. The Mystic Mine engine being hit, again, something we can definitely expect in a TCG with Metaverse and Mystic Mine itself. And outside of that, notable cards being mentioned here to keep an eye out for the new OCG list is double Pankratops being semi-limited over the the staple Mexia 3. We see Quick Fix as well being put back to 2 in the OCG. I've seen people like, oh man, Spirals is going to be so good, but let's see how they do, right? But that's pretty much it. Well, Solemn Judgment indeed, also back at 3. But again, this is the current, or at least the new OCG metagame breakdown, again from Road of the King. This is again very early, so take this result pretty much with a grain of salt. We currently have three, like the top 3 decks are basically, first of all, Dragon Links, will show a list within the next couple of moments, Pendulums, aka Zephyra, and Sky Strikers. Sky Strikers are coming back, and then a lot of other decks. Others is the category itself, but we see Invoked, we see Heroes that got Stratos back to 3, we see Cyber Dragons, Othergeist, Thunder Dragons, and so on. And so the format currently is diverse, but that's logical, I guess, since it's still very early format. But the first thing that caught my attention was, the new structure deck, or the Revolver structure deck was released with a couple of new Rokket cards as well, and it's immediately currently the most represented deck, like only 15%, but again, people start testing out, people see these lists, so they want to try it out as well, so it will definitely have an impact during the next upcoming weeks. But Dragon Link, interesting, I can say, it's pretty much like an adaptation of what we see here in the TCG with Guard Dragons or Crusadia Guard Dragons, but it's basically with, the good old Wyburstar Collapse Serpent engine, and it's heavily focused on your level 5 single, your IP, and sadly for us TCG players is Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber is a crucial card here for this engine to get the ball rolling, right, to search out your Rokket Synchron and go from there. Gumblar is here in the extra deck since, it's Gumblar, right, even though they don't have dangers, Gumblar is such an important piece of the engine here in the OCG, discarding multiple cards from your opponent's hand and then negate their last card with your whole Card Dragon setup or Card Dragon engine. So we see a couple of cards here from the Rokket structure deck. We also see the new Nobleman here in the main deck, so that's 6 cards. Triple Call by the Grave, triple Nobleman to prevent your opponent from using the hand trap like Ash Blossom, like Maxi, to get your first turn plays go through. You definitely want to go first with this deck. So interesting deck, and this deck, will pretty much, it definitely will have an impact on the upcoming OCG format. We see Zephyros, it's basically that's not really hindered by their most recent OCG ban list, and of course that's how it goes. People tend to go back to decks that don't get hit on the upcoming format or don't get hit on the list, and well, it's still Zephyros featuring Danglong and multiple negations with, you know, 9 pillars, the Zephyr trap card, and so on, right? Nothing new. Speaking of nothing new, we see Sky Strikers finally getting back here. Multiple reasons, multiple explanations. We saw that DD Crow was somewhat popular against Salmon Grades, but again, Salmon Grades getting hit on the OCG ban list, so people are trying something different. No DD Crow, no main deck answers to. I'm looking at Kagari, the one of Kagari here in the main deck, and let's not forget Sky Strikers did get a hit like on their previous list with only double engage, so again, it's something to keep in mind. So Avarice is still very important to get back that Kagari from your graveyard. But Sky Strikers again on the rise, so that's again quite interesting, even though the deck is already or got already hit on like the previous list, right? So definitely keep an eye out for Sky Strikers. We see Retaliating Sea, and that's also something that Road of the King mentions, is that Retaliating Sea is becoming quite of an important hand trap, but well, we see Guard Dragons itself already side-decking like a Gamma against Retaliating Sea, so it's a bit of an iffy card, but again, keep your eye out for, you know, your Retaliating Sea. So that's pretty much the most recent OCG metagame breakdown, but again, it's very early format, keep that in mind. Some extra lists is an extra tournament here, I believe just locals, I think 74 people. First place we see Zombies featuring, you know, Cross looks greener, currently at 2 in the OCG, featuring Soravis as well. Mystic Mine being tagged at 1, I believe you can just spam in or put in Mystic Mine into basically any field spell oriented deck. Of course, using your big zombie boss monster, interrupt your opponent's plays, and with Zombie World, it's basically a free, you know, like Treeborn Frog that revives itself basically every turn. So very interesting, this one. The second place we see here is Invoked, also again on the rise as that underdog deck, but still the deck I feel is still kept in check due to the one of Mechaba. You know, Mechaba is still at 1 in the OCG, but still having triple Alistair, that one card engine with the Mech Knights as well, multiple hand traps, the deck is still quite strong and can perform well as like a decent underdog deck, I guess. Another list here being Sky Strikers, 48 card Sky Striker, but the reason why I picked this list as well, third place, is well, the Foolish Burial of Goods and the Dino Wrestler field spell, again, you know, with Pancratops, etc. So I like this one, although Needle Fiber can be important here, you know, the chat synchron also, again, fueling your Link summons and your Link shenanigans, and the triple, the double super polymerization here, the main deck, also something noteworthy. The last one, finally we see Salmon Grades still doing okay, I guess, and this can be important for us TCG players as well. If we get our new TCG list where, let's say, Salmon Grades is going to get a hit somehow, I'm looking at Gazelle, I'm looking at their Rota, for example, and of course both Debug and Salmon Great Gazelle both being put to 1, and we see a huge or a big trap build with, you know, the triple impermanence, triple Solemn Judgment, double strike, double warning, a huge Solemn Brigades. Interesting though, especially here in this format, I didn't really expect Solemn Judgment being slapped into decks, because, you know, paying half your life points is quite crucial in a super OTK oriented, well, metagame, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking at the Pseudo as well, but the Pseudo doesn't really count, because, you know, the Pseudo is part of your Guard Dragon engine, and Guard Dragon can just put up multiple negates during the same turn, so yeah, during your opening turn. But still, interesting one. Keep an eye out for this. Double Scapegoat, for me the first time I see Scapegoat slapped into Salmon Grades. So we see a couple of extra lists, we see heroes as well, we see the Avengers deck, multiple hero variants slapped in together with triple Stratos, the evil heroes, Vision heroes as well, not evil, but I mean the Vision heroes, the Destiny hero engine, it's basically still popular right in the OCG with their superb polymerization, Shadow fusion alike card, triple Solemn Judgment, triple Crackdown, again a very strong card. Double Sanctum seems interesting starting, I guess, with only one side here in the main deck. But heroes, vision heroes, etc. Again, another invoked build, nothing too spectacular. And last but not least, a deck that will get more powered really soon, being Paleozoics, featuring Marine Sass. With this new OCG ban list, Marine Sass is definitely a strong deck, although still has like a big weakness being the Kaijus. Kaijus can just get rid of your opponent's Marine Sass link equipped with all of your Marine Sass link monsters from the graveyard, you know, using the field spell as well. So the engine, the full Marine Sass combo, is still going to be released in the OCG. So again, anxiously awaiting how that will impact the OCG format. But again, it's still very early, but it seems that Banlim's still strong, featuring Zephyra, Sky Strikers on the rise, Thunder Dragons got a huge hit, same for Salmon Grades. People are starting to use other things. The format currently is very diverse, but one thing is sure, even without the danger engine, like the Card Dragon shenanigans is still like currently the most represented, and it feels the strongest deck in the OCG, using the new Revolver cards as well. So again, anxiously awaiting how this deck is going to develop in the upcoming OCG format. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.